Capricorn. Hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late May 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with the Oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Capricorn collective here in late May. Right, what's going on, my gods? What messages, energies, insights, all that good stuff for my beautiful friends here, please. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for the Cappies in late May. We're moving out of Taurus season. It's almost Gemini season. Might be by the time you see this. So there's a little bit of astrological shakeup going on. Nothing too intense. All right. So this to me is a beautiful type of energy. It's very affectionate. There's a lot of possibilities, blessings, abundance with this very first card. And there's a lot of emotion, love, and care. It's really a deep type of energy. And before we fully dive into it, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk a little bit more about this card. So we see this lovely mother figure here. She's snuggling up to the baby. And I always say this reminds me of, it's a very similar energy to the Empress, where it could represent creation, blessings, good things coming into your life. So I really like this. A lot of you could be in a time of creation, whether you realize it or you don't. There's a strong energy around manifestation for a lot of you. So you could bring a lot of beautiful things into your life. But another thing with this card, notice that they're hugging. There's love, care, and affection. So that could be something you're thirsting for a little bit, or wanting or needing. There could be someone in your life that they might need a big old bear hug, right? And I'll give you one through the internet if you need it. But there's nothing wrong with a little bit of affection, right? So take that information for what it's worth. I feel like this isn't like a rough energy. It's a silver lining regardless of what shows up within the reading itself. And there could just be something being highlighted here that you care very deeply for. Okay, so we're just going to put it down right there. Let's get into tarot now. And I always say the first card here, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. Let's get you 3 cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness here. So let's shuffle it up one time here for my beautiful friends. And while we get the deck shuffled and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So I was seeing a nice little breakthrough of energy where we've been having some tumultuous things around the Capricorn collective. And this one did feel a lot lighter, which is a good thing. So we're going to hope to keep that moving. But the reading was titled The Big Return. So for a lot of Capricorns, there could be a lot of things coming back around in this time, whether it's situations that you've dealt with, whether it's individuals, or you name it. Like to me, it felt like a lot of things could possibly swing back around. And these energies, they could bleed over for a couple of weeks. Always keep that in mind. So let's see what we have for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you. Because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're linked to. Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Capricorn, please. Guides, talk to me. What do we have for my friends? Very quick. First shuffle out. All right, 9 of Wands. There could be something you were a little guarded about. It's a little skeptical type of energy here. I mean, you might just be on guard in general, worst case scenario. I mean, we'll talk about it a little more. This is just the place where we're starting from. And it's not a bad energy. It's just like someone who's very skeptical, if that makes sense. Let's get a couple more. Thank you. Okay, death card. Don't get nervous about that. I always say that. This isn't literal death. It's more of like a rebirth, very karmic style energy. Let's get one more out here, then we'll piece this whole puzzle together. What do we got? One more for my good friends. Thank you. Empress. All right, good. So we saw the Empress energy already with the Oracle. Now she's showing up once again. So this could be really nice, depending, right? Because it seems like we have a little bit of a hot and cold type of energy happening here. So you might be riding those waves, those energetic waves in this time. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I'm looking down here. We have a nice little mixture of elements. We got some fire. We got some water. We got some Venus energy back here. two very powerful major arcana. So that does tell me for a lot of Capricorns, this could be an important time of your life, your journey, what you're going through. Things are meant to happen for a reason. It's kind of giving me that vibe. But there's good possibilities here. That's one thing I will say. But let's go through one by one and really start to build this out, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of nuance this week. So position number one, we have the good old Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior himself chilling right there. So we see this individual, they're standing, they have a wall up literally. And I always say, yeah, this could be someone who has gone through some things. They've been through the ringer, they've seen tough situations, they've been through problems in situations, they don't really want to go through it again. This is a very skeptical type of energy where it's like, all right, well, what are you doing over there? I'm watching you, I got my eyes on you type of energy. So there could be a situation or something that you're keeping tabs on when this card is here. The wounded warrior is also territorial. In a good sense, this could be somebody being very protective of what they hold dear, right? With the Empress, double down to that energy. So very territorial and protective. Now that can be taken to the extreme. And I always say that cards are a double-edged sword. Now, the positives of this is like, yeah, it's someone being cautious, but in the challenge, this could represent blockages, right? It could represent problems and situations where it feels like there's a wall that you might need to break through here. In regards to communication, it might literally be blockages or miscommunication. So we'll want to dig into this further, because it seems to me that we're starting here with like problem identification. Now, moving to the center, we have the Death card. It's a misunderstood card for the most part. It's scary, right? Whenever you see it in scary movies, you see a tarot reader with their crystal ball, this card always comes out, mark my words, and it's really not that scary, right? The Death card isn't literal death. It's Scorpio energy. So when I see it, I think of change. I think of remaking yourself. To me, this is a card similar to rising from the ashes like a phoenix. So if you've had some endings, if you've had these rough situations or problems, like this could be remaking it or something coming from it, like from the ashes of something. We have a beautiful change here. So the Death card is all about the perpetual cycles of life and change. It's karmic in nature. So if you're not connected to Scorpio, when we see the Death card and we're not talking about change, there could be karmic archetypes at play, which speak about so many different things. People could literally write books about karmic cycles and how it plays, but it's very universal and spiritual. So we'll want to see what's up with that. If we were to simplify it down, the Death card, yeah, sure, it could talk about putting a stop to something too, but that's just a very surface level understanding of this card. Now, moving to the back end, we have the beautiful, lovely, luscious Empress, the goddess right here. So when I see the Empress, it's Taurus energy and also Libra, because it's that Venus. It's beautiful. It's like about pleasure and abundance and that overflowing energy from the universe. It's really, really nice. So the way I'm seeing it here, it's like, yeah, we got a little bit of a problem, then something changes, and then if this is the end result, we're looking really, really good, because we do see something shifting in the energy. Now, the Empress, aside from motherhood, fertility, and the overwhelming abundance, blessings, winds from the universe, she does have a challenging aspect to her as well. She could represent someone that's a little stubborn, someone that's a little set in their ways, and sometimes it could be feeling a little claustrophobic when the Empress shows up. But we're not going to fully walk down that road. I always say I'm not going to turn a card into a challenge unless the clarifier tells me so. So the way it's flowing looks decent so far, but I want to dive deeper, Capricorn. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Let's get a good shuffle here for my friends, please. Guides and spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for Cappy? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Nine of Wands. And if you're a reader yourself and you're feeling any messages from this spread that you want to give to Capricorn, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's see what's happening. What is this skeptical energy, or what is this roadblock? What's this Nine of Wands about? Thank you. Hanged Man. All right, yeah, this is somebody it's very difficult for them to change, or change their stance, or change their opinion. And it's like, no, 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 I've seen this before. I don't want to get burned again type of energy. And once again, this could also be some sort of issue or problem that's been sticking around for quite a while. Both of these energies are not budging. They're not moving, especially when we have the Hanged Man. So I really want to see what shows up when we hit this Death card, because nothing is stopping the energy in the center. But let's talk about this a little more. The Hanged Man, more scorpionic energy, and it could also represent Virgo as well with Scorpio. And the Hanged Man is a pulled back, retracted type of energy, similar to the Hermit. So when we see it under a card like the Nine of Wands, it's like somebody saying, no, 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 I've seen this before. In this time, you might be a little on edge, like, you know, I don't want to get burned again type of energy. But it's somebody who's not budging. Okay, so if you're having issues with a particular individual, it's kind of like they're in a shell. That's like this energy I'm picking up from it with the Nine of Wands and this Hanged Man. It's like I'm going back to my shell. I'm going back to my shell. I'm insulating myself, and I'm not letting nothing in. Okay, so maybe some of you are in that place in this time, just very, very extra protective. I want to see how the rest of it plays out. This, once again, it could be a problem that's been sticking around for a while, like it's not super new, or it's something that you have familiarity with dealing with the Nine of Wands and the Hanged Man. It's like, all right, I'm used to dealing with this. Let's keep moving over to that Death card, though, because I want to see where this energy starts to shift. For some of you in communication, this could be someone just blocking themselves or blocking something out. But let's go in on the Death card, because I want to see how this plays out. Obviously, we're seeing a problem here in the front end. Let's see how it all plays. So let's go in on the Death card. Thank you. Yeah. All right, so we have the Queen of Cups in reverse here. Yeah, and suddenly somebody's feelings are going to like have a massive shift or change. Okay, and I do feel like this could be on the emotional level for somebody here, and it's total. This is how I'm reading the energy and how it's feeling to me. This one in the front, it's like very cloistered and pulled back and putting a wall up, and pressure is building up. Something is coming to the surface, and right here with the Death card and this Queen of Cups, it's like an eruption of some sort. So I feel like it's two things here. One, this could be someone like being a very emotionally volatile, where there's like an emotional explosion out of nowhere. It's like very calm back, I'm sealing myself off, and then the pressure just builds to a point where it all just comes bursting forth in an explosive manner. Or Death card, Queen of Cups in reverse, if you're not having issues with a water sign, this does tell me that someone's feelings or emotions could change. Like it's a really big emotional change, because queens represent the internal world, specifically this Queen of Cups. She's also similar to the Empress in that way. So when I see her in reverse, it's like my emotions are changing, my feelings are changing. And this could be good depending on your situation, right? Like if there's someone or something that's been sticking around quite a while, Death with the Queen of Cups in reverse, unstoppable. There is a change coming, and it's like it doesn't really matter how you might feel about it. And I know that sounds a little harsh, but it's like unstoppable type of change. So we're going to keep moving forward to the Empress and see what the possible end result is here. Okay. But yeah, let's just keep moving. Why is the Empress in the mix for my beautiful Capricorn friends? Thank you. Yeah. So this is a very intriguing energy to me. We have the Page of Swords in the upright. This is the Watcher of the Tarot deck. And one thing I do want to say here is we have two of the cards that are looking at something, that are watching something, that are analyzing. Literally with the Page of Swords and Hanged Man, like you see them, they're like, we're keeping eyes on here. So just know in this time, maybe you're under someone's microscope, maybe you got someone under yours, right? There could be something you're paying very close attention to. Air sign energy, so we have a lot of different elements mixing here. When I see the Page of Swords, though, as with any page, there's students and they're messengers, and there's something coming in. So with this Empress and this Page of Swords, a lot of you could have some really good or exciting news coming in, but you could be very skeptical of it. That's one thing I will say. It's like, all right, is this too good to be true? Should I trust this? Like, I'm unsure how to feel about this. Okay, because on the surface, it looks beautiful here. Okay, but with all the skepticism and all the other stuff I've been seeing, like there could be a reserve type of energy to not pounce, if that makes sense. So we're getting a lot of messages just streaming through. And another thing I'm seeing here is someone could shift their perspective. Okay, because on the front we have this like territorial protective energy watching. Okay, it's like, all right, I'm watching for anything weird. And then on the back end, it's looking at the positive. So there could be someone that they go from like really negative in their thought pattern into a more optimistic tendency, which is really good. So I know I'm throwing a lot of messages out there at you, but this is making me feel a lot of things. Let's go through and do a quick recap, and we'll get into the shadow card. Lots of things here, only take with swords. As you know, on the bottom with the Hanged Man and the Page of Swords, there could be something that really has your full attention. But position number one, we have the Nine of Wands with the Hanged Man. I did say this could be someone being very protective, very skeptical, pulling themselves back. I got the vibe of someone not wanting to get burned again, like, I've seen this before type of energy. But I just feel somebody like pulling back, and there's some sort of pressure building up here. Watch out for big problems or issues. It could be something you've been dealing with for a while as well. This doesn't feel super new. Moving to the center, we have the Death card with the Queen of Cups in reverse. If you're not having issues with a water sign in particular, this is where the energy starts to shift. There is either a change of emotion or feeling, or a change that is like unstoppable in its ways. I also got the vibe of like with this pressure building up, something like erupting. So just know if you don't have a pressure release valve for yourself, you could probably use one so all this stuff doesn't come spilling out at once. Onto the back end, we have the Empress with the Page of Swords in the upright. There could be some really good or exciting news coming in, but you would be very skeptical about it. And I would say that's a good way to be, right? Like when things come in or people come in, we do want to be a little cautious in our ways, but give things a chance and just keep an eye on it. That's kind of what this is telling me. Aside from that, this could be someone shifting their perspective from like a pessimistic, protective one to a little more optimistic with this Empress. So please take a screenshot of that, Capricorn. Let's see what's in the shadows for you. Okay, let's shuffle it up one time, see what we got from our good friends here. Guides and Spirit Team. What do we got for the Cappies? And yes, I always like to pull one of these at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a bad thing. So let's get your one. And yes, if you've made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my beautiful channel members. I really appreciate you guys. Let's get you a shadow card. What do we got in the shadows here, please? Thank you. Yeah, Four of Cups. So there's a lot of mental action to go along with all this stuff that we have swirling around. And when I see the Four of Cups in the shadow side, it could be several different things. One, this could be somebody that, or something that is like plaguing your mind, similar to like invasive thoughts. So in the coming days and weeks, watch out for invasive thoughts, or something that's just like plaguing your mind whenever this shows up. Obviously, it could be very creative and imaginative, and we were speaking about a possible pressure release valve for a lot of you. So when I see this in the shadows, maybe it's Spirit telling you to express yourself in one way or another, and it could be very healthy for you, so these energies don't really come to the head. But I would say watch with the overthinking in this time. It doesn't feel like anything's treacherous or we're going to have to raise the alarm, but the Four of Cups, it is like think over and over again. So what? All right, we're just going to leave it at that. I feel like I don't need to expand on it anymore. Very simple. And yeah, Capricorn, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a one-on-one personal reading with me, you could check out my digital calendar at mastermetaphysics.com. But for the May subscriber surprise, we're doing a winner's choice this month, my friends. 2 lucky subscribers will get their choice of either the Everyday Witches Tarot, which is a wonderful deck. It's one of my favorites. Or you can choose a crystal pendant of your choice from my website. They're homemade. The energy is luscious. They're beautiful. So it's winner's choice there. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments where in the world you are from. You don't have to give me your home address or anything like that. It could be your country, state, province, whatever it might be. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you again soon.